mic is live, the stage is set. Words like fire you won't forget. Every topic, every thread. Living stories in your head. Dive in deep, let's take control. This podcast is your soul's console. Turn it up, feel the beat ignite. Conversations flowing bright. In your ears, day or night. This is the sound that feels so right. Oh.
As always, everything we discuss is for entertainment and is speculation. Please like and subscribe, and definitely join our discussion in the comments. If you're ready, let's get into it.
Welcome back to Typically Unique. I'm here with my friend Lori and Jenny, and we just got back from Delphi, Indiana, and we are here on location at our hometown little trail park and covered bridge. So we decided it would be appropriate to record from here today. So we want to share our initial reactions to being out there in Delphi at the bridge. So
Lousy.
Lori, I'll let you say hi. And Jenny?
Hi guys. Well, as you can see, we made it back in one piece. Boy, was that an experience, girls, or what? All I can say is I don't think I'll do it again, but if you haven't done it, don't go by yourself at all. But you've got to experience it at least once.
I was not nervous going out there. And then once we got on trail, I was like, oh my God.
Would you like to tell them what happened?
Oh my God.
We'll let Jenny say her hi, and then we want you to tell them what happened.
Yes. So is this your first time coming on with us?
Yes, it is.
So we've spoke about her many times, and she does a lot of things with us. So I'm happy to have you on the show again. So what was your reaction?
I, as well, was not nervous. I was just busy at 4 o'clock in the morning making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for our trip. But I do have to say that once we got there, the mood, everything about all of us totally changed. So there's some revealing, shocking things that we learned along the way. And I'll just let you continue your show, and then we'll pipe in as needed.
Right. It was a girls' trip for us, right? First of all, it was a destination we really wanted to go to because we're interested and invested in the case. So, the 5.5 hour drive to get out there, we're having our girls' trip fun and everything, but
Driving in the fog.
we will eventually be showing, like in our next part, showing clips of us actually being out there so you can see and hear our reactions. We're just going to talk about it right now, but it's
Heavy.
a whole different
It's heavy,
a
yes.
heavy experience being there, and it hit me like a ton of bricks as soon as we got in the park, or even in the area, because we didn't exactly start at the park. Do you want to talk about kind of like how
Sure.
the places we went in order?
Sure. So we decided to start off, of course, 300 North, and we wanted to go to the cemetery. So that was spooky in itself.
Can I interject there? As soon as we got to the cemetery, and it was surrounded by cornfields across the street, very backcountry roads,
Yes.
beautiful area though. We drove into the cemetery, but it went down a slight hill towards the end of the cemetery.
Yes.
At that point, we were looking around, and I turned and I looked at the cornstalk and realized that if a car passed us, they would not be able to see us.
That was a great observation, because when you're thinking about the case, that's one of the places that was speculated as an entrance on into the park to get down to the creek and get to the girls on the bridge. and also an exit route.
Right.
Right. We've talked about a possible place to hide weapons and
Right,
things like
right.
that. And as soon as you pointed, I didn't notice that at all. So that was a great observation. I turned around and I do have a clip of that. And like as soon as you said it, I started videotaping and showing like, here's where we came in from the road and here's how hidden we were. Like it was a perfect spot to hide a car.
And then I noticed the purple on the poles,
Yes.
which kind of freaked me out a little bit because if you see purple on poles, then that means no trespassing.
But this is where the, kind of fun part of the girls' trip comes in because Jenny doesn't say, oh, look, there's purple on the poles and here's what it means. She's like, oh my God, there's purple on the poles. And we're like, wait, what? What does that mean? I'm like, in my head, I was thinking it means shoot on sight. Like as soon as I see you, I have permission to shoot. And you're like, I think we had you look it up and just to verify that it really does mean stay off my property.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't have the signs, technically, if you see the purple paint, be informed that's what that means.
Right,
and
yeah.
every pole had that on the back side of the cemetery.
So now we've already got that in our mind. We've already spooked ourselves.
Yep.
Number one, we've already spooked ourselves. So two, just thinking about it's the way the graveyard goes down like this hill, and it's secluded down at the bottom. So when you see on TV, when you see them showing from above, you can't really get that feel that it looks more flat when all the cop cars and everything are there.
Right.
But from when you're there, it goes down a hill and you can't see from the street
Right.
what's going on back there. So easily four-wheelers, if they were transporting the bodies from one place to another, would have been easy to do. Back then, I don't believe that the whole place had the fence all the way behind. I think that both like ends were open. Just the back of the cemetery had that fence, but not the sides. So that's how they were getting down there.
They would have had, because one of the things we pointed out too in one of our video clips is going to be the if you were able to not have the fence there and continue into the park, it's just a drop off. There's a ravine there, and it would look like a huge
Drop off.
off.
right.
So it probably must gradually go away as you approach Logan's property
think
or
so,
something,
yeah.
because
behind his property, when he took the news people back there, it does look like it's pretty open and it's a nice
gradual
nice hill.
slope.
Yeah.
Where we were, it's only the ravine, and you couldn't get to the critical places,
No.
right? You can't get to the exact back spot of Ron Logan's property that's by the creek and all that. And you couldn't get to the very end of the bridge on the other side, but just being in these general areas. As soon as we hit that, the mood changed.
Yeah.
The seriousness of it. Because it
Became
wasn't just
real.
the cemetery, it was seeing Logan's property right next to the cemetery. Like you're at cemetery, trail, Logan's house, the road. I mean, just all right there. It got very serious very fast.
So after we left the cemetery, which we spent quite a bit of time in there, we took photos and stuff like that. After we left there, we decided to turn out of there right and drive real slow past Logan's house.
Very
And
slow.
We took video. And so then once you get up to the end of that, we decided to take a right and go down this one road. And I'm going to let you tell the white van story of the
But let's
bridge
just
we went over.
interject,
Okay.
like from the cemetery, because the viewers aren't there. The proximity to his house is not very far.
No, it's
I
about-
mean it's like right next door.
Maybe a football
maybe,
field or two.
Yeah,
if
maybe a
that.
football field away.
Yeah.
And then heading towards past his house would maybe be 2 football fields apart, where we turned right to go towards the bridge. And I'll let
Right,
you
not
continue
very far. So
with the vehicle.
We're just exploring the area before we actually go into the park, right? So I'm not real sure which area we're heading into, but we're driving down this back road, a few sparse houses, and heading towards a bridge, and it was a one-lane bridge, correct?
Correct.
A one-lane bridge, and the park is to our right, I believe. And as we approach, a white SUV, I believe,
Yes.
was coming off the bridge, and next to the bridge, pulled off the road, was a white pickup truck with nobody around. So just an empty white pickup truck parked on the side of the road, and we noticed that first, and we're like, oh my gosh, where's that person?
Right.
Because we were trying to be very aware of our surroundings,
Correct.
right? We knew we were going into a place we needed to be cautious.
Right.
So this white SUV comes off the bridge. No big deal. You know, we wait for him to get off, they go. We cross the bridge. Now it's an even more like farmland area. It had a weird like triangular cutout for cars to maneuver around, going right and left, right? Is that the area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did we see on that
Mears.
side of it? The Mears
And you wanted to
farm.
get out and take a picture.
And we just wanted to drive past it real quick. So we do, but I'm like, they
But
had a nice rock with
but
their
it-
name on it.
It wasn't the Mears farm that we talked about that's by where the girls got dropped off. This is another Mears, maybe their family members.
Or the other
probably.
side of it.
But there's
It's
another-
probably the other side of it.
There's another whole home, and but they had really pretty rocks, and Kim's like,
Yeah, their name was on this really nice rock. I'm like, let me jump out and snap a picture. So we're saying this just to explain, it wasn't that long. We literally
2
cross
minutes.
the bridge, turn a corner, drive, probably not even a minute.
you
I
pop
jump out, I snap a picture, we turn around,
Jump back in the
and we
car
head
quick.
back, and 3 minutes tops, probably 3-4 minutes tops,
If
and
that.
we are heading back towards the bridge, and who's coming right back towards us?
The white,
The white SUV.
oh.
Now,
and coming faster,
Mhm.
faster,
Yes.
like towards us.
Yes.
Almost felt a little
Like,
threatening.
how dare us be there?
A little threatening, kind of maybe chase us off,
Mhm.
get out of here.
it was
type
weird.
feeling.
It was weird. Now, had we already crossed the bridge when we saw him, or did we have to wait for him to cross? I think we crossed.
We
and
crossed,
then
and then he was coming back
And
down
then
the
he
hill.
was coming.
Now, mind you, there's no stores up at the top of that street, anything. There's nowhere that he went in those 3-4 minutes. He saw us, turned around, followed us. By that time, we had already were working our way back up.
That's the first thing that
Ugh.
we were all like, oh my god, because I was like, oh my god, that's the same way SUV. And then we're like, wait a minute, it only was about a 3-4 minute time period. We're in this very isolated backwoods. No, like she said, no stores. Where are you going? You went one direction for 3 to 4 minutes.
And you
Quickly turned around and came right back. Now he could have went to like a neighbor or something, but I don't know. It was weird. It was a very
So
weird.
now we have that on top of being at the graveyard. Now we've got that experience that we're now freaking out.
And
a
the
little.
thing that really freaks me out is the odiness.
And we were
Right.
just talking about that on our
Right.
travels to Delphi.
Right, because who's still active and in the area, and what do they do behind the scenes?
Because no matter what, it is a real thing. If anything came out of Delphi, this case, that is a real thing, and people do practice that.
Right.
So
So we're aware of that. We're on high alert. Weird thing happens, and this is all before we're heading into the park. So now we're like, do we really want to do this? We're
So-
not hesitant yet, though. Nobody said, oh, I don't want to go. Nobody said that. So
So
Go
then
ahead.
we get out of that area, freaked out a little, and we passed a UPS truck. And I had made mention to the girls, I was like, girls, look how skinny this road is. How are we
Right.
both going to pass each other? How are we going to pass this guy, So my point of mentioning that, Kim and I have followed the case, so we know about the Muddy Bloody.
we'll explain that. Yeah, explain the significance
What
of
was
that
her
road
name
we
again?
were on.
Oh my gosh,
I don't
what was her
remember.
name? Why can't I think of it? Well, we know the Muddy Bloody, the girl that says the Muddy Bloody. Well, when they're describing it, they make it seem like she's so far away from him, walking on the side of the road. Well, technically, you could barely get a car. You have to really move over both cars to be able to both fit down that road.
Just to add a little
So
bit
she
more.
was closer
yeah.
to the guy than it was portrayed for all of us to believe. She might have really only been like she said, 4 feet away from him.
There was a woman in the park on the trail that said she saw the guy on the bridge.
Right.
She also said she was the woman who was walking, right?
Right.
And she took a restroom break in town.
Right.
And as she was coming back, I believe, going or coming back, she was driving on the road and said that she saw a man walking along the side of the road. And there's always been discussion about how well did she see him. We're going to talk about eyewitness accounts in a little bit.
Definitely are.
Right. So we were on that road, right in the exact spot she was. And she did say, I was super close to him. And it's a very narrow road. Like, my perspective, I told you I'm not spatial. I'm not good at spatial things. But I thought it was like almost one lane, like almost enough for one road.
Right.
But we do have a clip. What kind of van was, or what truck came by?
A UPS.
Yeah, a UPS truck came at us. And we
I passed him twice.
I feel like that road kind of widened right when he passed us a little bit though, because
I have actually.
it
when
was
I
like
driving,
a maybe a 1.5 lane, like where
Maybe
everybody could kind of hug the sides.
Yeah, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
But with it being a UPS truck, it was even tighter to
Yeah.
get by him the
Right,
first time.
right.
But then the second time, we were actually the first time was right before we pulled into the graveyard, and then the second time was we were pulling up, and then you drove by again because we were freaked out about that. Because Jenny, did you make the comment of what they're watching us through the?
Yeah, we're like, that's their undercover vehicle. That's their, now remember, serious case. We're serious about it. We did a lot of, I think, sensitive coverage, talking about it. We left, what do I want to say? Like, we did like honorary things for the girls, stuff like that.
But
it's also on a girls trip, and we don't get to spend time together a lot, so we do laugh when something's funny to us. So you're gonna get a mix of both.
We're still human no matter what.
We're not making fun of the victims or the crime at all. Right.
So after we left there, we drove past Logan's house again. Then we stopped off at the spot where Abby and Libby were dropped off. And we got out and we took photos and just kind of looked around a little bit. We see the mailbox where the lady said that she saw somebody that morning. It was a guy standing by the mailbox and she couldn't tell who it was. And then next time she went out, he was gone. So after we did that, we went ahead and went over to the Monon. And Kim, I'll let you go from there.
And we have clips and footage of all of this. Well, I think you had the best observation as we drove in. Do you wanna, because as we were driving into like the parking lot area.
But
No?
the eyewitness, you can't always believe the eyewitness account, because what I'm coming to find out later, we had talked so much about the white vehicle.
Yes.
And
So now we're looking
I
for the white vehicle.
honestly could not recall if a white vehicle was coming out of
As we were pulling into the
Monon.
park, yeah, later, Jenny's like, well, I noticed a white vehicle coming out as we were pulling in, and her and I are like, what?
and then it comes later to find out that, you know, you can't always believe an eyewitness, because we have video driving in and there was no white
We
vehicle.
weren't sure about that.
But so, yeah, I find this fascinating, because in my mind, I really felt like one was pulling out as we were pulling in, but I was wrong.
Well, we don't know who's right or wrong.
Well,
unless
she
we
has
see
a
it.
video.
Yeah, I took the video.
Oh, you do?
She has a
have
video driving in.
Oh, I do too. We were recording
Yeah.
as we were driving in, so we can verify.
So we did verify that. There was
We
no
did
white.
verify there was no
Oh, that's
white
crazy.
vehicle. I know, this whole time I've been fighting with myself, like, am I imagining it, or did I really see it?
Nice.
So they're on one hand, you can't always believe what
Your
you
mind
think
plays
you
tricks
saw.
on you because
Right.
you're telling yourself for the last 15, 20 minutes, white van, it's following us, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So she's thinking that a white van is coming out of the park while we're going in.
Yeah. So
So we pull in. There's only two
Two
trucks parked there, right?
Correct.
As soon as we get out, we're like in this little gravel parking lot. A woman and a little child come off the trail, and I think we all had a collective sigh of relief. Like,
Right.
oh, there's a woman and a little kid.
Right.
So
Right.
we, you know, make note, see them, say hi. She even says, beautiful day for a walk. And then, you know, we just start exploring that area that's at the Freedom Bridge, right?
Yeah.
And how did you like the Freedom Bridge, Jen?
Well,
Yeah,
the
tell us
Freedom
about your
Bridge,
experience.
I am definitely afraid of heights. So, it's pretty tall and it goes over a highway. So Lori held my hand going
Sure did.
across it. I just really had to stay focused because I knew that we had to get to our destination. But I did okay. I walked quickly.
Yeah, and I didn't know that, so I'm like, you guys are like arm in arm crossing the bridge. I have it on video, and I'm like, what are they doing? And then I heard Lori say, she's got a vice grip on me. And, so yeah, Jenny toughed that one out, and
twice. Going
yeah,
to
on the
and
way
from.
there, you have to go across that bridge to get onto the trail. So
Right.
it's all paved and
It's
open.
beautiful.
And
They have like military like memorial with the big bowl. Was it a bowl? Yeah,
a bowl.
a big bowl, and it's very pretty. And I'm sure they will show you clips of that.
Yep.
Um,
And then you get on to the trail, and
Which, like she said, it's paved really nice now. They opened it up more from back 2017 to now. It's really wider and paved nice, and then you got the gravel on the side, so it's clean. There's a lot of leaves already
yeah,
fallen.
slight hint of fall. You
Yeah.
know, things are pretty dry. We haven't had a lot of rain this season, and it is getting a little fall in here.
it's mid-September when we recorded,
And it was
so.
90 degrees.
Yeah, and it was 90
Very
out
hot.
yesterday.
Mhm.
One of the first things that I saw, you know, besides the two vehicles in the parking lot, was the little girl and the grandmother, who I'm assuming is her grandmother, walking. And then I noticed a man coming
Yes.
from the bridge. He acted like he was walking from the bridge, coming up towards his car, kind of did a little sway, and then went the other direction.
Because you could go from the parking lot left or right.
So he kind of acted like he was coming back to his car, and then went back down and continued on. And he was only gone to the right maybe 45 seconds.
Because the bridge that's right past that, you can walk over it. That's the bridge that goes over North 300. So,
And what does that lead to, that
so
bridge?
that if you walk completely over the bridge, that's a neighborhood over there. There's houses and all that. But down below is North 300.
So a lot of people I noticed were coming from that direction. So I think they were leaving their houses, their
A lot of
neighborhoods.
people. There were two
Yeah, what are you
people
talking
there.
about?
I shouldn't say a lot.
Cut.
The few people that I noticed were coming from that direction.
Okay, let's talk
off the
about
trail.
that.
There were three, because there was the woman, the guy with the dog, and another guy.
We're still in the parking lot. We're headed towards the bridge. The woman and the child get in the red truck.
Oh, because we interrupted you because you were talking
did.
about the guy.
The man.
And then
So-
you told about going right onto the bridge.
Yes, okay.
And now we're back. The guy, so
The
he
guy
goes to the bridge.
detoured.
He comes back.
And he comes back and he's heading towards us. And we
He got in the
secretly
white truck.
took a picture with us in it, with him in the background, just for safety. And he gets in the white truck and he proceeds to pull out of there. So the woman and the child are gone. He's leaving, and it's a little bit of a drive, maybe from here to the covered bridge to get out. And he is driving extremely slowly. I know when I leave this lot, when I come here a lot, I just drive normal.
Yeah, in and out.
And so once again, there's another eerie feeling.
Mhm.
There is nobody else left.
But
We're the
But
only car
us.
there, and we're
We
like,
are
oh
the
no.
only three women.
and it's an
there.
out of town plate.
So
We're nervous going in.
as we're getting from the parking lot, you walk down this little hill, and like Kim said, you could either go left, which is where the bridge is, or you could go right. We want to proceed to go left, And what I saw was a very nice paved road, like Lori said, landscape beautifully, lots of woods winding, very, very beautiful. Beautiful scenery, but did not feel very beautiful to me.
No,
It
we
felt-
we made several comments like, "This is beautiful, but I can't enjoy
Enjoy
it.
it.
This is
Right.
not enjoyable to me right now."
Exactly.
So then we get to the first one. I think it said all the classes or whatever of Delphi. The
No, I
first
had the
print.
years. It was like a graduating gift. You know how like graduating classes buy something.
The
to
first
put-
one said all the classes. I took pictures of all of them. Then the second one had like a list of different. But so we get to the first one, and I'm like, girls, is this the? Wonder if this is the one where the three girls sat down and they were talking. Let's get our picture taken. So we took a picture there, and then just shortly, like a couple feet away, there is like a rail, and you can kind of look over. So you guys were looking over that. I was sitting down waiting for you to come over. We took the picture. Then we continued to walk on.
I also want to, before the surprise happens, as we're walking, Kim and I were walking together, and we start noticing, like in the woods, and I did not get a picture because Lori was trying to hurry us, the way the twigs were sat kind of like in teepee shapes. We were very
I just started noticing Y shapes, like a branch, a cut off branch. It's cut off the tree. It's not attached to the tree anymore, but it was stuck in between a couple branches or something. But it was like shaped like that Y or V shape. Like I just was looking for those
And
things, and
I-
I just
yeah.
noticed some of those. But
kind
then
of looking for the symbols, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I noticed like a man-made teepee area, maybe a hut type thing. I'm regretting that I did not get that photo. But this kind of goes along further with,
Right.
the odonism.
We get past that first bench, and we all continue to walk together. And there's another bench in our view. But, so we're looking at the bench, or I was looking at the bench. And then over off to the other side of the path, there's this little area with benches or whatever. Didn't know that yet. But mine focused at the bench. All of a sudden, this guy comes out of the woods, like out of nowhere. Scared the shrew out of all of us.
all of us. And I think I was first, and then you guys were a little bit behind me, and I just I think we freaked the guy out as much, no, probably not as much, but he knew. I shouldn't say we freaked him out, but he saw our reaction. Like I looked dead at him, and I think we physically jumped back,
Held our breath.
We all looked at each other, and he noticed that because he immediately was like, I'm just going back. You guys are okay. Like I was sitting on the bed. Like he just started talking and saying things to make us feel better. You did not feel good about that.
No, because my first thought is, wait a minute. Where's he come from?
He
I'm
came
thinking
out
about
of a
all the
wooded
white
area.
vehicles.
And we've
I'm
seen
thinking
everybody
about
leave already.
Nobody in the parking lot.
Right.
And I don't know what's on the other side of the trail.
Right.
So, I mean, we're 5 minutes into the woods.
Right.
We're like mid-trail. So
yeah,
there's-
maybe mid-trail, maybe
Yeah.
10 minutes
Yeah.
into the woods. It bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I said I felt like my intuition was like, yeah, I was scared because it startled us just from the suddenness of it. Also, it's because we experienced that feeling of
Fear.
surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Of,
fear.
of a surprise
Yes.
being in a space like that,
Alone.
alone, isolated,
We're
nowhere to
women.
run or go, and what that was a genuine feeling that we had.
Yeah.
Now the guy, I didn't feel like threatened necessarily by him. I tended to think like, okay, he feels bad that he scared us, but I was not calm. Like I watched him like a hawk.
So as this is happening, he's asking us, where are you heading? You heading to the bridge? And I turn around and I said, yeah.
I know, I like wanted to smack you. I'm like, don't tell him yes.
Well, where else are we going?
And I'm
That's
thinking,
the only
in
place
my
to
mind,
go.
I'm thinking, and I think I even said as we were approaching him from a distance, we all three can take him down. Like I could tell by
True.
his walk.
He was
maybe
old. He was an
older
older guy.
man.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, so we're all on high alert.
And I get a phone call. Thank God, actually.
Perfect timing. Her phone rings as soon as the guy's like just about walking past us.
And I'm like, hi, Mom.
But
yeah,
who was-
you guys are meeting us down here? Yeah, we're already down here. Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Be careful. Tell Dad to drive safe. You know. And
But it was a telemarketer.
It was a telemarketer.
So she just starts acting
and
like
I hear
it's-
the guy going, excuse me, ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay? But I can't say to him, you know. Now at that point, he finally had hung up. But he was like,
He
ma'am?
was. I'm surprised 911 didn't show up.
I know, right?
The guy, I didn't know the guy was asking you that.
Right? I didn't
Yeah.
either. I thought maybe you just clicked
Yeah.
them off and pretended.
No.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
He probably chalked it up to how people mess with
Right.
telemarketers.
Right.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But wow, what if you really were in danger
Right?
trying to do that? That guy
Well, if I
wasn't
was really
any
in
help.
danger, I'd be like, dude, call 911 because there's this dude.
Yeah.
So that was, wow. Like we're not even halfway through.
Our
the
nerves
trail
are
yet.
rattled now.
We're done. We're done.
We were cautious. We were nervous. Now we're rattled. Okay, so we continue on down the trail, and we're still having that feeling that, and we keep making comments like, "This is so beautiful, but I can't enjoy it." Like, and just the seclusion and isolation of it was really. I was starting to feel like, is this really a good idea? Should we really be here right now doing this?
Absolutely.
And we're next just heading towards the Monon High Bridge.
Well, we stopped. I had brought some memorial rocks that I had made, and so we stopped and put them in that little. There's the area where the girls got dropped off down that one road, and then there's this little memorial area. People leave things, and I had made some rocks. We stopped and did that.
Yes, so we're walking along the path and we noticed they had bricks on the ground that formed a heart, and there was, what did it say about the girl? We knew it was about the girls. It was, there was like, it was just a little memorial, and things were left. There was a note, there were little trinkets and things like that,
So I left some rocks.
I thought it was awesome that Lori took the time to like paint and make sure they were coated, these rocks, to honor the girls, and we even left one with our little signature on it, and we took a photo of that. That was special for us to remember.
We can show you later.
To remember that. Yep, we will be looking at those photos. And then we headed on to the bridge.
Yes. Now
And we were
all
walking quickly.
Yes, very, very
We're
quickly.
feeling uneasy.
Yeah, we're like, let's just get there, you know.
Get it
And I was immediately taken back as soon as I knew we were approaching that area, because it turned into like a paved little area with like signage, right? Like wooden signage. And we were relieved. We looked up, there was a camera.
bunch of cameras. Four on
Cameras.
each side, and then another one. It was,
Yes.
it was pretty well, if they were working here.
Yes. But I was, and I have this in a clip, it didn't look like how I had envisioned in my head, that area. Like the way I always heard about people on the trail and walking certain directions, and I just thought it was going to be a wider area. It was just a complete straight shot, straight back. And I was just thinking more circular, and I don't know, it just did not match in my head. So personally, I'm going to go back and like look at it from back in the day, like when it really happened, and compare to now. But we spent just a couple minutes looking at that stuff, and then
We were actually up there about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Jenny knows because she doesn't like heights. So Lori and I walked out onto, they have the new part that is built to get
Which is
to
very nice.
the original bridge. Jenny stayed back, which was actually a good thing.
I thought it was best. I would have done the bridge, but I thought it was best if I kept an eye out.
She was our lookout.
Like, because we're in the middle of nowhere, and if we're taken off guard by one man, who's to say we couldn't be taken off guard by something else?
Yes, and we felt, I think, I know I did, at least having somebody off the bridge was like a
But I was
safety
the
factor.
first one that was gonna be taken.
I know. I don't know what we were doing.
I was gonna jump. So
We weren't out there without a little protection, though.
Yeah.
We had some protection.
But I was literally shaking. So in my videos, I can see I was taking selfies and taking photos and everything. I'm literally shaking, and I'm saying, "Oh my God, I'm shaking, I'm shaking." Because by this time now, we're a nervous wreck. And then, boom, you're at the bridge where this all took place. Watched it a million times of Abby on the photos and the video and everything. And so now you're there. Now it's real. We're
And
there.
all as I can envision in my mind is the voice saying, "Girls down the hill."
Yeah.
And I'm there alone. You guys, I mean, you're not that far. I could have yelled, "You're right there," at the end of the bridge. But I want to interject my little take on it too.
Yes.
They're down there. It is 90 degrees. It's hot.
And it's all wooded.
It's all wooded, and it's very calm. It's a very calm day, no breeze. And I'm standing there, and I'm hearing like little seeds drop off the trees, hitting the ground or a leaf or something. And then I hear a noise, almost like a vehicle, a slight swishing, like maybe something's coming down some path, or it was loud enough that I knew I could put my phone on record and capture this sound. And I look up, and nothing's really moving but one area of a tree, almost spiritual. I don't know, but enough to scare me where I was like, "Come on back."
I know. She's like going like this, and we had been out there for a while, so
And I wasn't,
it wasn't
yelling.
frantic.
I
right.
wasn't yelling like, "This is crazy. I just want you to feel this breeze." And
Plus, we had a code word. Like,
do.
and we've always had this code word since we were little kids. Like,
Yes.
we've known each other since we were the girls' age, the Abby and Libby's ages. We've
always
And-
had a special code word for emergencies, like come immediately.
And so we said, just yell that out if anything. And she didn't yell that, but she was like motioning to come back. So I'm like, okay, she's had, we need to head back. That's how I took it.
Right.
But then when we got off, you're like, I heard something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't take your, wave as like, I'm a little freaked out over here. But my mission was to like capture the spots that I knew had been discussed by witnesses, like dealing with the case. So even though the beginning of the bridge is rebuilt, it's not the railroad ties at the beginning. It's got railings now and everything. But the original like little cement cubes, the little cement pads that like very start the edge of when you're going off the land to make the bridge, I like caught those, the landings, because they always talked about like how far out did these people walk? Oh, they made it to the first landing. So I wanted to make sure like we could see like, well, how far out is that? And what does that look like? And you can see the creek below. And so I'm doing all that as we're walking. Then I'm like, okay, I just want to focus on the walk. So I walk out, and you and I are I think you were ahead of me. I think you got out there first. And I walked up to the edge, and it's literally like barred off. The new bridge ends, it's completely, they stop you, and then the old original railroad tire bridge, it was up higher. It was like almost like,
it was weird.
like
It was high.
up to my face, and I think that's what caught me so, the condition of it, seeing the whole scene, watching that video and pictures all these years, you'll hear me on video. I was just like, oh my god, oh, I can't believe this.
Yeah, you're
having
on my
this.
video saying all that.
Yeah,
I can hear you in mine.
it totally, like I said, like I wasn't going out there initially before we got there. I wasn't feeling nervous. I'm like, oh, I just want to go and get the actual footage, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And there were like a couple of memorial items that were left. Someone even like reached out through those bars and like left it on the actual bridge part, and I was really trying to, you could not see the end.
Right.
You could not see the end of the bridge.
The trees were grown
The
over.
trees are bridge height, all the branches, and they're growing.
It's a bottle.
They're growing, over the bridge. And I even say on my video, oh my gosh, they're just gonna let this all grow in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like
They don't
pretty
want
soon
people
you
there.
won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
Like you won't even be able to see that bridge. But we had questions of what we wanted to see. Like we talk about that access road
Mhm.
that's like under it, and
Mhm.
the houses
You
the
can't see that.
neighborhood that's down there, and you couldn't see it at all.
No.
So that was disappointing, just because I wanted to get that perspective. But the emotions,
Yeah.
the emotions were
emotional.
raw
Very emotional.
and hit me hard. Yep.
I think we were both shaking about the same, because I could hear her. She could probably hear me and her filming. I kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm shaking. I'm shaking."
Yeah, you'll
But
hear
it
us.
wasn't. I wasn't afraid of the height or the bridge.
No.
That guy is what really did it for me when he scared us. Because if he came out of there, who else is out here? So that was always in the back. So trying to enjoy the experience, that kind of ruined it, because I was scared now. I really was scared.
And having, we have 3 of us out there, but having someone behind you, you were ahead of me, and I'm recording, and I even was like, wow, we're 2 friends on a bridge, you're ahead of me. Like, that just added to it,
Yeah,
the
rewalking the same
significance.
steps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it. No rails for them. The railroad ties, some of them were this far apart. You couldn't pay me to do that. You couldn't pay me.
That's the first thing I said. I was like, no way would I get up there and do that. Like, no.
So it had to be somebody, in my opinion, though, girls, that knew that bridge, to know that they could get over it. Not the girls, that whoever it was could get over that bridge as quickly as they could.
Oh, yeah.
They had to be very familiar with it, because
Right.
you and I took one look at it right there, and we're like, oh, heck no.
Yeah. We also talked about how we think the girls were lured out there, so I feel like they were very motivated
Right.
to get to that other side of the bridge, because I think that was like the meeting spot.
Mhm.
Like they were supposed to meet this boy, and that's where they were
And
going
Libby
to meet.
didn't have any fear, because Libby had done it before, where Abby had never done it. And that's why Libby got to the end first, because Abby was being very cautious. It was her first time. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah.
Me, as a blank year old, I would never do that. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Some motivation to get across there.
I
like
think
we
they
said.
were.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So then it was funny. We even made a comment about it as we left. We were like double stepping. Like as soon as we were done with that area, we were just double time.
Done. Let's get out of here.
Getting back, like the only place we stopped, and you did leave rocks for the girls
Yes.
on the bridge.
I left them on the bridge as well.
And then I think we stopped again at the
Abby and Libby dropped off.
Right.
We
Yes.
walked up there.
So we have the perspective, we stopped from the road, so we have that perspective of where they got dropped off, and then we have the perspective
How they walked
from
back down.
inside the
Mhm.
trail, going back, and that point is right where they have their memorial.
Mhm.
So that makes sense. And again, spatially, I was like, this is not how I envisioned it, but
So we get past that, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere again, there's a guy walking a dog. I mean, I didn't see him. But now, mind you, we were doing the rocks and whatever. We were looking
Well,
for
we
rocks.
were walking back towards the car, and he could have very well parked his car and been heading our way. But we couldn't see the parking
No, there's no
lot.
way. I mean,
But there was no
so-
other car in the parking lot.
No.
When we returned, there was.
But what I'm
no
saying
other
is
car.
now all of a sudden here's another guy with a dog. I did get a photo of him.
But we were heading out. He was heading in?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We were
I
going
hardly
back
even
to
remember
the
that
car.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had that little dog that looks like Spud.
Spud McKenzie. Yeah.
I thought I saw him heading out.
No,
Maybe we
he was
saw him.
passing us.
Oh
He
my
was
We were
God.
looking for rocks.
So-
We were looking for our memorial rocks to bring back with us.
Yes.
And he came out of nowhere where we're bent down and, so
Once again, though, it was very secluded.
very
We
quick.
hadn't seen any other people.
And then it was quick. He was right there.
And then there's a man with a dog, and we don't know if he has a car in the parking lot or not, and he's just taking a stroll, or we don't know. Just
Right.
like
We were
us
just checking
sitting
everybody
here right
out.
now. We've had cars coming in and out.
Yep.
We just didn't know.
Right.
But we knew we were alone on that trail. Nobody could hear us if something were to happen.
Right.
I don't know, between the three of us, they might hear us.
That's true. But we continued on. Yeah, we did make that quick little stop to check out that area where they were dropped off, and then after that, it was like get back,
Yeah.
and we were kind of hanging out in the parking lot a little bit.
Yeah, we sat
and
and we had snacks at the picnic table.
yes,
But that man with the dog had no car there.
no,
And he didn't
So-
come back out
No.
while we were there. He didn't come back out.
No.
We sat there for quite a while because we were eating snacks and
Making
chips
phone
and
calls.
Now, see, I did see him. I watched him come back and go over the bridge because that was what I was remembering when I was writing down, when I was making note of what I saw on the bridge.
On
so
the
he
Red
did,
Bridge?
Yeah, he went
The one
back.
to the right
sure
or
that's not the
opposite of
first
the
guy?
bridge?
because I
No,
we
this
didn't
was
see
at
him
the
come
end.
out.
No, I'm telling you, I know it was at the very end, and I watched them walk away over the bridge. So, because I even made note,
See,
he like
there's
came.
perception.
Yeah, he came because there was no
Our
car.
backs
I'm
were
like,
turned. He may
he's
have.
walking his dog. He came out of the neighborhood. Yeah, you guys were at the car. You were like doing stuff. So it might have been something
Maybe.
that I saw.
I didn't see
Okay,
him.
I don't know. I didn't see him.
So we sat there for a while. We had our snack and we were looking at our pictures and stuff like that. We felt more comfortable once we came out and we're more in the wide open. That's what.
And we had access to a getaway vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Left there.
So we have Lori. You know, she's the planner. She's the investigator. She had a list of the spots and addresses of
we
where
left
to
rock.
go.
We left the rock at that picnic table as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did. Okay.
So we head out of there, and I think we went to Richard Allen's house first, right? That
Yeah.
was the closest. We
Yeah.
were like, okay, here's where we want to go. Which place is the closest? So
Whitman Avenue.
we
Or
head
Whitman
there, and he lives on a cul-de-sac.
Beautiful.
Cute little neighborhood. House, super cute. Nice houses in that little, and not a whole lot of houses, like less than 10
Yeah.
houses in this little cul-de-sac, and we could tell a family probably lives there now because we saw like kids' bikes and stuff like that.
And a
but-
white Silverado.
Yes. Yeah.
because it was
Always
a white
the
truck.
white truck.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, we were making note of that. So stopped there, and then we knew we wanted to go to their Memorial Park, but we knew that would be heading back to go home, so we knew we were going to do that last. And then we wanted to go to their grave sites. So Lori had the addresses, and they all start with this, like, it's either like 100F or IOOF, but then they have a different name after that. So the first time we went to the cemetery, we had the wrong one.
The wrong
Totally.
cemetery.
When we got out, and every one of us took rows, and we were.
I mean, we walked that whole cemetery, and thankfully, you know, we should have known because it was like older,
Not as well up.
not as well. Yeah, we should have known, but we walked that whole thing, and then once we started Googling again and looking for the real address, that's when we noticed, okay, you got to look for like the specific name. So, Libby's was closest. So we found hers, and
Beautiful.
it was right there.
Beautiful.
Like drove
Right by a
in
tree.
and easy to find, and just a beautiful monument for her, and what they wrote on the back, like
Yeah.
it's all engraved on the back, and
She still has a lot of gifts being brought to her.
It's very peaceful.
Yes.
just very pretty by the tree.
And we were able to pay our respects and
We left rocks.
left something
Well,
for her.
For Abby's and Libby's, I left the Abby and the Libby 2 different rocks for each of them.
I thought that was special.
Because when you're at one, you want to remember the other one too. We don't disrespect you're at the one, but for me, it was because they were together. Like we are always together, and I just wanted to put a little rock of each of their names on each of their.
We know how much your friends mean to you.
To
each other.
So we went across the street from the courthouse. What was the name of that place?
The
Office
Tavern.
The Office Tavern. So we did get good footage of the courthouse. So that's very important. We have, shouted out all the creators that were out there during the trial and everything. So that was smaller area than I was expecting.
It looks
to,
bigger on
but
TV than it is.
Yeah. So we wanted to go to a place right down there, right? That's where you're in the mix and where everything was happening during the trial.
Cute little small town.
Yep, and it was a cute little tavern.
Yeah.
And I love that it was called The Office because it's like right by the courthouse.
Right.
But man, you could tell the locals were in there.
Right. So that's when we decided to get our paper and pen out and do our assignment that Kim and I told you that we were going to do.
Difficulties with the last about 15 minutes of our recording yesterday. So we came back out and we are continuing on. Are we ready?
We are.
So then I suggested to Kim, I said, let's go ahead, let's clear off our table, and let's do what we said we were going to do. And this was the thing that Jenny didn't know we were doing.
The experiment.
The experiment.
So I take a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper and I give it to everybody. And then we explained to Jen what we were going to do.
So Lori had told me before the trip that we should make observations while we're on the trail and then compare our observations after. And I was like, oh my God, to test the eyewitness theory. And that was an excellent idea. So I was super excited about that. And I felt that the two of us, would have an advantage because we knew ahead of time. And I did kind of have that in my mind, I will say, as we were on the trail. Now, did I always focus on everything? No, so it still wasn't perfect. But we're like, don't tell Jen. Because she'll be the control. She's going to be the control of the experiment, right? She's the only one who doesn't know ahead of time going into it that we're going to observe everything on the trail. So she had no clue. Now we're at the diner, at the tavern, and we're like, okay, Jen, here's your paper and pencil. Write down everything you saw, heard, observed while we were at the park.
And she's like, are you serious? Are we really doing that? She's like, you guys blindsided me. And we're like, yeah, we know. That's why we wanted to do this experiment.
Right. So mine was an honest. I had no idea. Honest what I saw, and
How did you feel about us not telling you?
I was like, well, that's my girls, leaving me in the dark. But no, that's okay. I mean, this is how they say how witnesses sometimes are not credible, right? Or credible, or
they take everybody's and just compile it into one.
yeah. So
Yes.
I really love that I was the experiment.
It really does prove a point. So we're going to share with you what we wrote down, what we saw just ourselves, and then you'll see the difference between the three of us in what we observed as an eyewitness out on the Monon High Bridge Trail. So who went first
Jen
last
went
time? Okay, so Jenny's going to go first.
Okay, so the first thing I thought I saw was a white truck pulling out of the Freedom Bridge area. But we found out later, because they videotaped
I was
it,
filming at the time when we
that
were
that
pulling in
did
there.
not happen. But we had so many white trucks that we were discussing as we felt like we were kind of being followed. So that's not accurate. accurate.
But it was funny because she starts off with that right out the bat. Oh, there was a white truck leaving the parking lot. And her and I are like, what? What are you talking about? No, there wasn't. And then I was like, well, there's no way to prove it. So right away, you got an eyewitness thinking there's a truck leaving. But then Lori said, no, I was videotaping. So we were actually able to prove that one. And there was no white truck.
There was no
And I
white
think it was,
truck.
what did I say it was? Something of disbelief, suspension of disbelief. So we planted that in your mind
Right.
this whole time that you're thinking now we're going into that park and there's a white van coming
Oh,
out.
because we kept
Right.
talking about white truck, white truck,
Right.
white truck. Right.
Yeah.
Or a truck.
So then, the first thing I witnessed was a white truck in the parking lot and a red truck in the parking lot. And then I noticed a lady with a little girl, and the little girl had curly hair. I would say she was about 3 years old, and she had brown hair. The lady had what I remember was like a bob, shoulder length, one length haircut with bangs and light brown hair. I saw a guy with a beard. He had brown hair, and he walked from the bridge, the Monon Bridge, and he was coming from the bridge, and it looked like he was coming up towards the vehicles, towards us, but then he slightly curved and continued on to like that red little bridge right there, and he was disappeared for a small amount of time, maybe a minute, and then started walking back up towards us. And I said that he got into the red truck. Also, I witnessed an old man on the trail about in his 70s. He had on a black shirt, no glasses, and he had hearing aids in his ears. On our way back from the Monon Bridge, there was a man walking towards us with a little white dog. I don't know the breed. I said it was kind of like a Spud McKenzie dog. He had a black round mole or birthmark on his left arm about the size of a quarter.
All right, so we're laughing about that because we're on the Odinism, like, freak out mode, right? We know this town, like, that's giving us, I think, the most angst about being there because out of everything from the trial, we learned that Odinism is a real thing. So we know there's people in this town, and we felt like we were being followed. So we're looking for the symbols, right?
The tattoos.
And the tattoos.
yeah.
So she says, you know, oh my God, look at his arm, you know, while we're there. And then she's like, it's a birthmark. I'm like, we're not looking for birthmarks.
And she's like, it's hairy, it's real hairy.
Yeah, there's hairs coming out of it. And we're like, no, we're looking for tattoos.
Oh.
But that was a funny, moment.
I also saw trees that were stacked in like a teepee shape.
Which I do have photos of.
And do
You thought I didn't
Okay.
have photos, but I think I have a photo of that, yes.
Right. So that is what I witnessed.
Okay. Who went next? Okay.
All right. So what I saw on 9/15/25 on the trail. So when we first pulled in, I saw a white truck that was parked next to us with the windows down, and next to it was a red truck. There was a guy with gray shorts and a short sleeve shirt. He got into the white truck. I saw a lady with a little girl that got into the red truck. There was a dead snake.
That's funny because it had nothing to do with anything, but she even took a picture of it.
There was the guy walking out of nowhere. He was white, he was older, his speech was slow, his eyes were weird. We did talk to him, and while we were talking to him, we all were immediately freaked out, but I had gotten a phone call at that time, and because he scared us so badly, I kind of went with the phone call. It was a solicitor, but I pretended like it was my mom, and I was like, oh yeah, Mom, we're already down here. Tell Dad to be careful driving, and we'll see you guys soon. We'll be at the bridge. Because we didn't know. This guy kind of freaked us out.
He came from nowhere.
He came from nowhere.
Yep.
And there were no vehicles left in the parking lot because everybody had already left.
Right.
So
And
where did this van come from?
We knew we were the only ones on the trail.
Yeah.
And then I saw the red flowers on the end of the bridge. And then I saw a guy walking dog, white dog with brown spots. And that's all I
Those are your
wrote down.
observations. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see how we're seeing the same things, but some of us are making more detailed descriptions or different kinds of descriptions that we're seeing. So the first thing I noticed was the lady and the little girl coming off the trail, and the lady had a pink Purdue shirt on, blonde hair. I thought it was back in like a ponytail or pulled back some way, and gray pants. And Jenny and I had a debate because she thought the woman had brown hair. I thought she had blonde hair.
And I didn't even notice at all.
And she didn't, make that observation. The little girl had dark brown curly hair. We agreed on that. She had a dark blue shirt with a flower design and jeans on. The lady and the little girl got into the red Silverado, and there was a white Silverado in the parking lot. I saw a man coming off the Freedom Bridge, and he was bald, he had a beard, he had a light gray shirt on, and dark gray shorts. I saw an old man, this is the one that scared the bejeebus out of us, with gray hair, a blue shirt, and jeans. But I did not make the observations about his eyes or his walk or the hearing aids or any of that. I did not observe any of that. But after you said it, I was like, oh yeah. There was a guy and a dog. The guy had a light green shirt on, dark gray shorts, glasses, and a white and gray dog leash. But I will note, I made note of him as we were getting ready to leave. We were back in the parking lot, we're getting ready to leave. I saw him go towards the bridge. These two did not. You guys, I think, observed him on the trail when we were at the entrance where Libby and Abby came on the trail. So in that moment or instance of a witness, we saw the same thing, we just saw it at different times. So lots of interesting observations to be made. We'll have to analyze this a little deeper as we go back and review it, like how we saw it, like what points can be made out of our eyewitness accounts. Okay. So we wrapped that up, and then we went to go find Abby's grave. And we knew that we had time to look it up while we were at the tavern, and it was going to be like a 20-minute drive out of our way. But we're like, we got to go. We can't just go to one of the girls' graves. We have to go to both. So we go, and let me tell you, it was the most back road of back roads that ever back roaded. It was almost one lane roads through every farm in Indiana, and it was just, I felt like we were probably driving on private property through these farms, because that's all it was corn
fields
on both sides of the road, literally just corn for all you could see. And it was so profound to me, like, you know, a unique place in the United States that if you don't have that where you live, I wanted to capture it. So we were at a four-way intersection in the middle of these cornfields, and I'm like, Lori, you have to stop. I have to jump out and record this. So I get out of the car, I stand in the middle of the intersection and just literally do a 360
surrounded by corn
of like a four-way intersection in the middle of cornfields.
I mean, it went on miles and miles.
For 20
and
minutes.
miles.
For 20
I
minutes.
thought we were getting more deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, what the heck? Where are these guys leading me?
Yes, because we're following our GPS, and we're like, we're just going to follow it, you know, but that was like almost being in the middle of a movie when I was in the middle of that cornfield. Like, that was crazy. So we found the cemetery. It was another nice one.
This one, she was parked. Was it? Or the cemetery was next to a church.
Yes. Yeah. So we knew we were like,
It was
okay, it's
wide
the
open, very
church's
nice.
cemetery.
Newer.
And her grave was not as easy to find.
No.
Libby's was like right by the road. You could pull in, get out of your car. It was right there. Abby's was
Tucked in.
Tucked
like
in.
5 spots or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we would have had a really hard time finding it if we didn't have some help from the internet. So
Yeah.
we were able to find exactly where her grave was. And again, it was beautiful. Her image is sketched on it.
Actually, you guys, I'm wrong. Now that I'm thinking, Libby's was the one that was next to the big church in the wild, and then the big tree. Abby's was, there was like that the street corner. Remember?
Yeah.
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 So I'm wrong
do
about
remember
that. Yeah, I'm wrong. I was wrong about that. Abby was not by the church. So if you're out there looking for that, you're not going to find it by a church. But anyway, we did finally find her, and we paid homage to her and respects to her. Once again, it looked like people have been there to see her.
Another beautiful headstone.
Yes.
Yeah, Abby's had the butterflies on it. Her image etched into it. She was more of like, I think, liking art and things like that. So I thought the butterflies were,
And I loved
were
her.
awesome.
I loved her saying on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She may be little, but she's
She's
fierce.
fierce.
I thought that was beautiful.
We have pictures of that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And of course, I left a Libby and an Abby rock for respect. And
Yeah, we went there to honor the girls. You know, we couldn't go there. We're trying to keep the victims as the focus. So we did that. And then the last spot we were going to hit was the Memorial Park on the way, because that was more on the way out of town, more towards the like main highways we needed to get on. So that was easy to find. Wasn't hard to find.
huge
And
place.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Modern. You pull in, there was a outdoor amphitheater with a huge field. They could probably have awesome performances there.
A couple, 2, 3 baseball fields.
The baseball, softball
Concession
fields.
stands, the playground. Tell them
The
about the playground.
music, they had like the music where you could play the drums and the xylophone.
And then did you guys see some exercise for
Yep.
adults? Exercise
Yep.
equipment for
outdoor
adults.
exercise equipment? And you know what I noticed later when I was looking back by the amphitheater? They have like an archway behind
That was
it, and there's
a path
yeah.
that goes. That's what I told
Yeah.
you. We could hike back there, but
Oh,
we didn't have
yeah.
time. We didn't have
So-
time to do it.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I thought I saw it on the way out. So we're talking about, so you pull in, there's the amphitheater, there's a paved walking path around all the playgrounds. There were multiple playgrounds for like multiple aged children spread out all over the park, around the softball fields, everything like that. The playground we were at had like the swings and all that traditional stuff, but it had adult workout equipment machines lining the fence to it. That was very
Ooh, the
different.
concession
It had the
stand.
wheelchair swing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that somebody with a wheelchair can go actually take their wheelchair on it, and they lock it in, and they can swing
And a
on
beautiful tribute to them, and that it's out in the open eye,
Mhm.
so people could feel safe,
A safe place
a
to
safe
go.
place.
And the music instruments you were talking about. So, you know, I believe they both were softball players. I know definitely Libby was. So, you know, that's there. The fields are there in honor of her. And then Libby, Libby had the musical instruments on her tombstone
Yes.
as well. So they had, you know, like the plastic plumbing tubes that you can use to make sounds with if you cover them with different materials. And they had drums and xylophones, and we took some footage of that, so we're going to insert that. You'll see that when we turn this all into a video.
We took footage of that?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, okay.
Yeah.
But it's called the
I caught you playing
Oh,
the
no.
xylophone.
it's called the Abby and Libby Memorial
Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
Field or
Park.
I think it's a park.
Yeah.
It's their memorial park.
Oh yeah, that is.
So that was the last stop in Delphi for us. and then we headed on the freeway and
somehow made it home.
Somehow made it home in the dark with none of us having good night vision. Can you guys see the bridge back here? So that is the longest covered bridge in the United States, I believe, right? So
it's called the Smolden Bridge.
Smolden covered bridge in Ashtabula County, and we call this area the Gulf because it is big ravines, lots of trails. We call our trail the Indian Trail. We're in Ashtabula County, and Ashtabula means river of many fish. So the Ashtabula River runs through the Gulf back there.
We wanted to do it here, these videos here, because it reminded us of the trails out in Indiana and Delphi. So I was like, hey, let's do our videos here, kind of like the same sort of, aura, I guess.
Yeah, we thought the vibe, same kind of vibe, being out at a park and having the bridge in the background. I'm gonna come out here and do a walk and talk on my Wednesdays sometime. I'm gonna wait until fall because all of this is gonna be beautiful red, orange, and yellow.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Colors, so I'm gonna wait for that to do that. But yeah, our trip was Monday.
I'm still, I don't even know. I have not come down from that yet. I haven't.
We're getting all of our reactions out.
Yeah, I guess just because just all the research and seeing it on all the TV and podcasts and everything, and then actually being there was just like, I'm still trying to come down. And pretty much all day yesterday, that's all I did was recap and look at all of that. Theirs and now mine.
Yeah.
I can compare now, you know what I mean? And I was going back and reading the documents and saying, oh wait, no. But what they don't understand is North 300, you can barely fit 2 cars in going each way.
Yes.
And when Sarah Carbach, whatever, was saying she saw the muddy and bloody guy 3 feet away, I believe it. And of course, you do have to kind of slow down because it's kind of curvy, and depending on where she saw him at, you don't know where the other car, if there's another car coming the other way, you got to be really careful. It's very thin.
Yes.
It was a tight squeeze.
I wish we would have got out and kind of put our arms out so that we could have compared to see exactly how long that or how wide that road is, because it's not wide at all.
It was exactly wide enough for 2 vehicles to almost be touching side by side and be on the road.
Like when the UPS driver drove by us, like we really had to go off to the side, both of us, to let each other through without hitting each other.
Right.
Yep. So we shared our reactions with you and took you through our whole journey. Girls road trip, all our exploring of Delphi, all the locations we went to concerning the Abby, Williams, Liberty, German.
Say their name.
Say their names. They're the victims, their case, and so stay tuned for part 3, which is going to be all of our footage that we took. So this video was us talking through everything, sharing our perspectives and reactions with you. Part 3 is going to be all of our footage and photos, and Lori and I are going to make a recording, and we will be talking and showing you all of our footage as we go through it. So be looking out for those videos, and we will see you back here next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. That could be unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth that lasts and zero fear.
One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.